Hey, it's Eric. I'm making a game. It's called the Godkiller. It's a 3D top-down puzzle-solving adventure game. I'll show it to you in a moment. I had a little scare last night. I'm not saying it's 100% over, but about 30 hours after my parents visited me, felt a little weird. Felt a little, I don't know, just off. Maybe fatigued. I felt like a little kind of cold thing in my back, and it feels a lot like stress, but it almost kind of seemed like maybe chills too. And so I sounded the alarm. I talked to people who I'd recently been in contact with, and told them I might have it. Be careful, take precautions. Nobody I talked to was sick. On the other hand, it may take longer for their symptoms to show up. But I don't have a temperature. There's no fever. I'm pretty sure it's a false alarm, but I'm still kind of isolated. I'm on the top floor of my house, and then if I go down and see my wife, I'm more than 6 feet. Believe me, I don't want to get her sick. It's like mask on, far side of the room type stuff. I'm not interacting with the same surfaces as her. But that said, I feel pretty normal. I think it's going to pass. I had the test done today. I say it's going to pass. I mean, I don't think there is anything to pass, but I'm still taking precautions. I do work in my game every damn day. I suppose it's possible I could get super COVID sick and then yeah. I guess if you can't, you can't. All right, let's do it. So, got to get my broadcast connection going. And I'll show you recent progress. I actually did a little bit of work today before I came on the stream. Come on, Air Server, you can do it. All right. I made the arrows thicker so I could see them better. I was straining a little bit to see them, but in the editor it shows paths. I've explained it so many times. It's maybe a little bit boring for some people, but I'll explain it one more time. This is just the editor part of the view. It's not the actual game itself. The arrows that you see are for each road square. It shows which direction to travel in order to reach a currently selected target. Now, after I generate what's called the roadmap, all the pathfinding is pre-calculated. So I can drag this target around, who's the player, and the arrows just immediately update to point to the locations along the road you should travel to reach her. I refined the algorithm a lot. It's changed significantly from the first version that I had. Now I'm favoring something that's easier to figure out when you're the player, which is if somebody is coming towards a target, they will find whichever crosswalk on the road, these blue things are crosswalks, that's closest to the target, and they'll walk to it. Then they'll leave the road. And there's also rules of the road are that you can only travel along the right lane unless you're at a crosswalk. And if you go up the stairs, you also have to stay in the right lane. Okay, all that said, let me hit play, and I'll just demo what it looks like in the game. I'm pretty close to being done with the pathfinding and the roads. I'm pretty sure. With a little luck, this might even be the last pathfinding session or crosswalk session. It takes a long time to generate the roadmap, but it's a preprocessor task. So it's not that big a deal for it to take a long time. Let me get a drink. I'll be right back. All right, here we go. So this guy, keep in mind this guy, he wants to get to me, but he lost his opportunity. Anyways, he has to follow the rules of the road. So I'll follow him around a little bit. So he's staying on the right side of the road, but then right there, he popped off because this crosswalk is the closest to the target, me. There is a little bit of a wrinkle to that. Since I'm currently on the road, he should actually be seeking a path to a point on the road, and that may be what I add today. Okay, so right now, this part is perhaps counterintuitive. It seems like he should go this way, towards me, but he has to follow the right side of the road. So he'll go up to this crosswalk before he turns around and does something different. All right. Now this is a little bit hard to see, but I'll drop down. Actually, before I drop down, I'll go over here. So he's going to get that crosswalk. He'll have another decision point. It'll probably direct him to come to this crosswalk because I'm closest to it. Yeah, so he's coming this way towards me. But he's got to follow the friggin' rules of the road, which are maybe a little annoying for him. It might be annoying for me as the developer. I am thinking about maybe letting him do U-turns. I don't know. There's something really charming to me about forcing them to keep going, even though it's silly for them to do that. So, thinking about the roads a little bit, what will they be good for in the game? I don't think they'll be good for, oh, I turned off my volume. Is that it? Let me see. I don't think they'll be good for making enemies more threatening. I think they're more like they serve a couple purposes. They get creatures from different parts of the level to other parts in a kind of general purpose course way. So if anyone's using roads to chase after you, pretty easy to evade them. You just switch to the other lane like I just did there. But if you're off doing something in a road, if you're off doing something in another chamber that's connected by a road, and there's a whole bunch of people that are someplace else in the level, they can come over to you by using the road to get there. The other thing that they're good for is creating like a busy feeling. So I can dump a whole bunch of bystanders on the roads and they'll move around on them. And I had those earlier. A nice thing about the roads too is it doesn't really matter if I've got 100 creatures running around. Using the roads pathfinding, it'll scale with it just fine. I'm thinking maybe I am better off with a U-turn capability. I think I'm going to play with it a little bit and think about it a little bit more. I can put the U-turn in. I don't think it'd be that hard. That was useful. Okay. Think about that though. The hard part about a U-turn would be the stairs. They don't have any road information on them. Alright, let me try a few other things here. Now that I finally got this working as I intended, I gotta think about how well it plays. But it's a nice thing that I don't have any known bugs to it, so everything at this point is just incremental improvements. Okay. So here's the other thing I can do, which should be pretty helpful. Create like these forks here, so they can travel one way or another, and they'll get some good pathfinding that way. I'll put another one here. Feels like there ought to be some other pattern in the middle to tie it into this crosswalk. I could do that. That might be a nice thing to do this session. Let me see how well those things play. Each crosswalk I add makes it take a fair amount longer. I'm not sure why it takes so long. It's probably the initial generation of the crosswalks, because it has to check for a path from every crosswalk to every other crosswalk. Okay, let's hit play, test that out a bit. That works pretty well. Where'd the guy go? Oh, he's up here. Didn't even notice him come up. So this is an example of him not knowing a way to get back to me. He's stuck until he touches the road. I had an idea to fix that. Where'd he go? He's down here? I guess I was wrong. I guess he did know how to get back. Weird. How did he get down there? Is he just really fast? I didn't notice. All right. So how do I want to spend this session? I do want to wrap these up, but I want to keep playing with them forever. I think they're behaving pretty reasonably right now. I'm not going to worry about the U-turns, because it feels to me like it's probably the right decision to keep him more inefficiently moving, but more predictably too. The other thing is that the game doesn't really encourage you to have combat with the people that are attacking you. You tend to just be evading people and moving towards your goals, and occasionally somebody gets in your way and you punch them. This type of pathfinding seems good for that. Alright, so stuff to do here. I think visually I would like these crosswalks to look a little more similar. I'm picturing like a version of this that's more suited to being at intersections. Now, let me finish the pathfinding. The last remaining thing for the pathfinding is that when the target's on the road, you'll be directed to a path that keeps you on the road instead of exiting to a crosswalk. So, thinking about that, I want to check and see. If this is going to be on a road piece. Oh, I gotta think this through. Oh. Jeez, this is gonna be hard. I keep coming back to the stairs and how they're sort of second-class citizens as far as pieces on the board go or squares go, because I optimized to be able to display extremely vertical levels. I don't have the same cues about when you're on a road stair or not. I think I have a good idea. Give each crosswalk. Dang it. Oh. Problem is the little bit of cleverness I put in to skip over all the road, the stairs squares. I just said whenever we get to the road stairs, I'll just skip over all of them. So if I use reachable squares, it's not gonna track those squares in the middle of the stairs. No rhyme intended. Alright, for the moment, let's put this back how it was. I thought this is easy. This is easy. Do not exit road when player is on the road. It's easy. And target is on road. Okay. So I'll have the pathfinding be exactly the same. And it will tend to send creatures in the right direction. General direction. Just like good enough pathfinding. I don't need to know that the exact square on the road is reachable from the current path. That's gotta be it. That's gotta be the way to do it. Okay, so for that, I don't remember where my code is that that makes them exit. This is it right here. Alright. This should be pretty easy to test. Takes a while. Kind of scared about that. Oh man, that does take a while. I don't like it when I have to start thinking about optimizing the editor code. Okay, here we go. Where's my player at? Is she up here? Oh, I put her down there. Okay, cool. Just eyeball these. Okay, so that's saying turn around. Basically, it wants everyone to go, this thing. Why is that happening? That one points that way, that one points that way. Player's not on the road. It should be pointing out there. Okay, this is taking way too long to generate. So I'm going to need to remove some of these crosswalks. So it doesn't take me so long to test it. Leave one up here. That one. This one, let's get rid of. Okay, so that should take much less time. Make sure I still have a repo. Or a repro, I should say. So it's a basic rule that there should always just be one there should always be just one crosswalk square that is being directed to, and here it's saying here go north, here go south. That would result in kind of an up and down type movement. Or I think it's the new code I just added in that causes that. Okay, I can only see I can see the problem. It's why am I using the from crosswalk? I need to use the target. Okay, that will probably fix it. Because the crosswalk piece is always a road piece, so that would have always been true. So that was not correct. Let's try it again. Okay, that's looking much better. Okay, so that's good behavior. Let's take the player and put the player on the road and see how the path changes. Okay. So this came back. But it makes sense why. Because I've got code that says go to the closest crosswalk. But once you get to that closest crosswalk, and you just follow the lane direction. Hey Z, you just follow the lane direction, then it'll immediately put you in conflict with the next square that is pointing you correctly to the closest crosswalk to the target. So that's why this points at each other. I'm getting exactly what I asked for, which is usually what happens when you're writing code. And what you asked for is just wrong. I'm trying to think of a way to fix it that won't break my brain. Because I don't think this is worth doing a lot more on. Okay, so Z, I did a little work on this off stream. The crosswalks are now correctly directing whatever creature needs their help to the closest target, closest crosswalk to the target. So creatures will end up getting to the closest crosswalk. I noticed that when I've got the player on the road, my pathfinder is taking the creatures to a crosswalk and asking them to exit the crosswalk. But it doesn't seem quite right to have them leave the crosswalk if the target is on the road. Because if you leave the road, then you have to get back on the road to get back to the target. I'm not even trying to make like really great intelligent pathfinding behavior. I just want something that looks kind of okay. And I added in something that said just follow the lane direction instead of exiting the path or exiting the road if the target is on the road. And that's what this square is doing. So if I'm off the road, it says exit the crosswalk. If I'm on the road, it says, yeah, just keep going along with the lane direction. But the next square is going to be pointing opposite of it. So the creature that's following those instructions will end up going back and forth here. So what I'm thinking I might do, just to keep it simple, is I might just say, if your target is on the road, just follow lane direction, period, all the time. Not just in the one weird case I'm considering. That would mean this guy would just keep going. He'd be looping around. I think it would look fine. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. What's going on with you? Yeah, you're gonna lose me pretty quick. I don't have the machine learning lingo. I hope you're enjoying it though. Alright, if this works, I'm going to call it a session. My brain's starting to get a little shaky. Dang it. Doesn't make any sense. I don't know why I would do that. So that makes sense. That's right. Now I go over here. Oh, I know why. Or do I? Okay, that's the target CRH. Okay, so okay, I got it. I'm getting confused between the crosswalk and the target. The lane direction should not come from the target piece. It should come from the crosswalk. Okay, that's right. I'll test out the paths. So if I'm on the road, creatures are just going to follow the lanes. If I'm off the road, then they'll go towards a specific crosswalk. Oh yeah, I dragged it outside the range. Okay. There we go. Okay, so from up here it's going to go to that. Here it is that. These guys down here are sending me up the stairs. Alright, I'll test it out in the game one more time, and assuming everything looks good, I will call that a session. That means that the next session should be on something besides roads, which is awesome. I like the roads, but I'm getting anxious to move on to something else. There he goes, coming to get me. Alright, that's a session. Z, sorry the timing doesn't give us much overlap, but I gotta head off to a few other things. Thanks for hanging out. Good to see you. Good luck on the AI stuff, the machine learning. Alright. Stopping the stream.